Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. I'm painting the wheels for the hoe wagon. And I'm doing them with the tires on because I haven't had the opportunity to find the tires that I'm looking for. And we'll get into that in a minute here. But let me show you what I've done for the rims here. I've got a wire wheel on the angle grinder, typical strip job, took off 6 or 7 layers of paint. And whenever I paint rims with the tires still on them, I don't like taping them because it's a pain in the rear to tape it. So I just use a cereal box like this. I come in and just cup the lip of the rim there so you don't get any on the tire, and as long as you're not spraying out a head of your piece of cardboard, everything works pretty well. And there I ran out of some red oxide primer and had to blend in the gray, and it seems to work all right. But the rims themselves were pretty clean once I got all that paint off, and this is that meadow green. This is the lighter green that's on the Roto-Hoe. And here we go. So the bias ply tires, that's right, I'm sticking with these guys for right now because work has just been very, very busy. Everybody wants everything done before the rain and winter hit. So I haven't had the opportunity to deal with Craigslist flakes at finding a used set of tires. I'm looking for something around a 195 60/16. Those will fit on these rims perfectly. 195 60/16 passenger car tire. A nice soft radial on there would ride really nice, I think, and it would still lower the trailer a little bit more than it currently is. So you'll see that I'm going to be using hand tools to put this thing together. This is Saturday morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to be nice to my neighbors and not run air tools and compressors and everything this early on the weekend. So, you know, I'm trying to be a swell guy. You know, you got to get along with your neighbors, and even though my neighbors are generally stupid, you know, what are you going to do? So here I'm going to install the axle. Remember, the axle's going on top of the leaf springs, and that sucker's heavy. I put it on a bath scale. It's about 96 pounds for the axle with the hubs attached, and that's pretty damn heavy. And if I was nicer to people, I would probably have some friends and they would have helped me put this axle in, but you see here I'm fighting with it. But eventually it gets in, and it's fine because I was able to get the job done, and then I don't have to be a fake nice person to people I don't feel like being nice to. So that's my soapbox for the day. Everything lined up really nice. The axle's going to really work well, I think, on the top of the springs. I've already driven this thing around town quite a bit just to see how it handles freeway speeds and maneuvering and everything. And it does really nice. I think it'll actually drive even smoother with the radial tires on there. But there's the hand tools. Wrench, wrench, wrench. There are castle nuts on the back side of those shackle bolts that require pins and the cotter pins, and I went through the trouble of getting them all set up and then realized I hadn't cleared out the holes. Yeah, that doesn't even look right. Wait a minute, what am I? Oh, that doesn't even look right either. Oh boy, I sure got a strong right arm. How did I do that? But where was I? Oh yeah, before you put in your shackle bolts, be sure to clear out your pinholes. Because I got them all set up and everything, and then I couldn't find the dang holes to put the cotter pins in because they were packed with grease, and it makes it hard to see. Whoa, easy there, killer. The thing's still a little unstable on those jack stands. And those are the U-bolts. I painted those a light green. I don't know why I went through so much detail thinking about color and color variances, which is silly. I painted the axle the forest green, the dark green, or is it hunter green? I think it's hunter green. And then I did meadow green on the hangers, the U-bolts there, and then I did the nuts and washers black. Silly, I know. And there's the Roto-Hoe decal. And my decal guy came by after I had all this done, and he looked at it, and I was talking about the hoe wagon, and he says, you know, I should have made that decal that would say hoe wagon instead of Roto-Hoe and do it in the same font and with the stripes and everything, and I thought that would have been pretty clever. But yeah, I just applied these decals over new paint, and with my luck, pulling the Roto-Hoe off the side of the trailer would screw the paint up. So we're just going to run with Roto-Hoe and leave the hoe wagon detail as a wish we had it done. So here I'm working away. I couldn't get the pins on the springs to line up with the holes in the axle, but a little tugging on the spring pack there did pretty good. Yeah, not bad. So this whole assembly took me about an hour, and the reason why you're going to hear my boring voice for the next 8 minutes is because I filmed all this with music in the background, and I've already been kicked in the teeth enough times by YouTube for using copyrights. So you're just sorry guys, you're going to have to hear me. It is what it is. So one of the there's an upside and a downside to building stuff in my driveway. The upside is that once this thing's together, it's very heavy and it's easier to get it out onto my truck if it's already in the front of the house. I don't have to maneuver it around the side of my house down the side walkway. But the bad part about being in front of the house is that people drive by and they see me and they want to talk. Some of the neighbors that I do see, oh, look at that. What did I just say? Look at this guy. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I got my kid with me. So this idiot drives down the street and then he wants to stay, and then he's standing in front of the camera. So I tell him, get out of my sight line, you knucklehead, and go sit down over there if you want to hang out with me, and next time bring me some beer. But it was like 8:30 in the morning at this point, so yeah, bring me a beer. Ha! And there you go, wrench, trying to get those U-bolts tight, nice and even. Made sure I had even the same amount of threads on either side of the U-bolts to make sure they were pulling straight on that spring pack. And let's put the wheels on. These wheels have 6 lugs, real wide center hole. I didn't even bother looking. Actually, yeah, now I'm going to put the pins in the castle nuts. I didn't even bother to see what this bolt pattern is. It doesn't really matter to me, because I don't think I'm going to be able to easily find a spare tire for it. But if I put a good set of tires on it, I shouldn't have anything to worry about for a long, long time. And get out of the way, kid. You're blocking my view. So here, yeah, see, I had to loosen up the castle nuts because I couldn't find the hole for the pin. It was just really being pesty. So I pulled the castle nut off and I poked a hole through to find it. And then I remembered the clock position of where it was. So let's go ahead and put the wheels on this thing. The wheels went on really nice. As you'll see by the hubs there, this thing takes lug bolts, not lug nuts. There are no studs in there, and they're small too. I thought I could hit it with my star wrench, but these are only 5/8. So I put them on with a regular ratchet, tighten them down to about 65 foot-pounds, because they just don't need much more than that. I'd be sure I greased I wire wheeled them first before I painted them, and then I greased all the threads. I also greased the contact point between the hubs and the rims, because those seemed to rust pretty bad before. So I cleaned them all up. Obviously, both sides are painted. Both the hub and the back of the rim are painted. And then I ran some bearing grease. I wiped some bearing grease on there to keep things nice and rust-free. See how this guy just stands there with his clean clothes and his hands in his pockets? Yeah, get out of here. Anyhow, I like how low the trailer got. Look at how the top of that tire just sits right about at the top of the tire sits about the top of the trailer, which is pretty damn cool. And if I could find some 195/60s, it'll drop it even more, which makes me even more happy. But these are good for now. In reality, it's going to sit till the spring, or March or so, until it stops raining. We're expecting a big rainstorm in on Monday. It's supposed to last 2 or 3 days. And that's pretty typical for the next 4 or 5 months. And nobody seems to want me to come in and wreck their yard, turn them into a big mud puddle. So I can't find any good earth to till, and I'm not going to rip up my backyard right before the rains, because then old Newman will be tracking in mud, and I don't want that. So the wheels went on good. I think they look pretty damn decent. So let me show you how I attach the ramps, and if I do find a lot to till up, I'll get you some footage, so hang tight.
The hoe wagon is complete. Yeah, as I mentioned before, these bias ply tires are going to work for right now until I get a minute to dig up some tires. Winter's coming and people like changing their tires in the winter, so I'm on the hunt for some 195 60/16s passenger car tires. But it's definitely lower now that I flipped the axle. I like it. Digging the deeks. The ladders are attached. I put an old truck mat there, a chunk of an old truck mat that will allow the rear of the tiller to set on there without gouging the paint too badly. This is how I fashioned the ramp holders. That's a little tether because I tend to lose things, but this bolt comes in through an existing hole. There's an existing hole here in the frame, and I drill a hole in the ramp, and then I just tacked on a nut on the inside here, so it sandwiches it up against there, and it ain't going nowhere. Same here, same as here. See a little tether so we don't lose it, and it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy overall with how it came out. Yep. So my hoe got herself a new wagon. That's cool. That's cool. There you go. The hoe wagon is complete. Thanks for watching.